Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome to another Facebook Live. I'm Brendan from Bluelight, and many of you will know me already because I do lives all the time, but for those of you who haven't seen any of these before, welcome to this live. This is where I talk about everything to do with police recruitment, and because it's live I get the opportunity to interact with you and answer any questions. So if you've got any questions, if you've got any comments, if you just want to say hi, just say something in the comments box. At least I know that people are actually watching, which is always awesome. So tonight I'm going to talk about something that's really interesting, a really interesting development. I've got my laptop next to me, so forgive me, I'm going to read off it because I want to get the wording exactly right. So I can see some of you joining already: Gemma, Charlotte, Clang, Jamie, Paulie, Dell, Anna Maria, Jamie. Oh wow, this is awesome. Lee, Jamie, so many awesome people who I know. I know you're already in the Bluelight Facebook group. For those of you who aren't in the Facebook group, I'm going to talk about a post that is actually put in there today. There's almost 40. If I tell you that this has had a 4,500 post reach and has had, let's see, 26 comments already, you may be thinking, wow, 4,500. Well, listen, the group's got almost 14,000 people in it. So this is a group just dedicated to police recruitment. So for many of you, actually, let me know, let everyone know, put something in the comments box if you remember that group, and let everyone know how awesome the group is. All right, so just do that for me, please. Can I ask you to do one thing whilst I just check everything on the laptop here? Just type something in and let me know. Let everyone know what you think of the Bluelight Police Recruitment group. All right, so in that group today, just 9 hours ago, this is hot off the presses, and this is quite concerning, I think, quite concerning for anyone who's in the recruitment process, because I've seen this before. I'll tell you where in a moment. So Dave posts today. So I had a response from Cheshire Police this morning stating I'd passed the force interview. Yeah, good job, Dave. But, and this is quoting the exact message from Cheshire Constabulary, unfortunately the Constabulary has a limited number of vacancies and we are unable to guarantee you a place on an intake at this time. Therefore, we would like to keep hold of your application, which may be considered for a later intake date. And Dave's saying, so what does that mean? Any help appreciated? All right, well, I'm here to provide that help for you because I've seen this happen before. I'm seeing it happen now. Thames Valley Police cut back on the numbers. Devon and Cornwall Police on their detective pathway. They were sending people to the assessment centre knowing that their next intake was full and knowing that they weren't going to run another one. Metropolitan Police stopped recruitment in March/April. They have not run one assessment centre, online or otherwise, since April. They're not even accepting applications, and they've made it clear that a surprising number of people are actually staying in the police, so they don't need to recruit as many. Plus, Sadiq Khan, a few months ago, the Mayor of London, he announced that there's a massive £500 million shortfall in the budget. That is going to get sliced up somewhere, and the police are going to take a hit. Other forces who in the past have behaved in this way, so because what Dave is in at this moment in time is effectively a holding bay. So he's put in limbo. He's not being told he's failed. He's been told he's passed. He's just being told that there's no room for you, but we'll keep you on file. Now, this is an awful thing to do to people because it just keeps you in hope that you are going to get recruited by that force. Cheshire Constabulary have got previous convictions for this. Worse, actually. Like I said, I've seen all of this before. The start of austerity 9-10 years ago, I saw this happen. I was in the police back then, and I saw the police force being decimated in terms of numbers, and they just stopped recruiting. Now, when they did start recruiting in limited numbers, they were very nervous about it, and they couldn't quite plan their budgets properly, and it was all over the place. Greater Manchester Police, I seem to remember, were recruiting 40 a year. That was it, 40 officers a year, which was barely enough just to add 2 or 3 people to each division, which was just nothing. Cheshire Constabulary cancelled intakes. They gave people intake dates and then cancelled those dates, so that People had given notice at work. People had moved from one part of a country to another, believing that they were going to have a start date. Sussex Police had people measured up for their uniforms and then cancelled the intake. West Midlands Police did the same. Humberside Police, for many of you who are current clients in this group now, you've experienced this. You were held in a holding bay that lasted for over 2 years. Humberside thought that was okay. It's not okay. It's treating you deplorably, awfully. Surrey Police kept people so long in the holding bay without any chance of them being recruited. So eventually they just fessed up and said, sorry, we haven't got a place for you after all. This was like a year, 2 years into being kept in the holding bay. And they just said, Sussex down the road are recruiting. You can transfer your application there. So is this going to happen again? I don't know. You know, Boris Johnson promised 20,000 new officers. He talked about new officers. But if we look at a net increase, it's not going to look like 20,000 because forces are finding that because of the current economic situation, the numbers that were expected to leave aren't leaving. So what do those numbers look like? Who are going to leave normally? Normally it's around, I think it's around 9,000 officers leave every year. 9,000, 10,000 officers leave every year. But that depends on the recruitment humps. So post-war, there was a huge recruitment drive, which meant that most of them left in the 80s. I joined in the 80s where there was a massive recruitment drive. Now into the 80s, everyone's starting to leave now because they joined in the 80s and did a 30-year career and they're starting to leave. Andy Cook, the Chief Constable of Merseyside Police, 35 years service. Come on, Andy, time to go. So I pull his leg about that. I'm allowed to. I joined with him. We used to drink mucky beer with each other at the Bruce Police Training Centre in 1985. Outstanding officer. But he'll be leaving soon. So this creates this big hump of people leaving. Except that some people, you can leave between 25 and 30 years service and still get your pension. So as opposed to leave, I left at 25 and a half years of pensionable service, 28 and a half years service because I did 3 years in Bermuda. It wasn't pensionable, long story, but I left with 25 and a half years of pensionable service, which meant I could start collecting my pension straight away. Other officers are going to hold on. They may have planned to leave at 25 years, but they're not going to. They're going to stay on now and do their full 30. And the officers that would have resigned with honour halfway through their career are now deciding to stay on. So that 20,000 uplift may become something like a 6,000, I don't know, slightly raised as opposed to an uplift. Who knows? Who knows? But the government will not commit to 20,000 new officers when there is not a net decrease that's going to allow for that to happen. All the projections were pre-COVID. Is this making sense? Let me know if this is making sense. So, I mean, you heard it here first, folks, but I saw it happen elsewhere. You know, I've been doing this for years now, and I saw this happen a long time ago, several years back, and it decimated people's dreams. It decimated people's dreams, and it was really, really unfair. But the police do this, and I don't think they've learned any lessons whatsoever, because they'll be thinking, oh, no one will ever remember this. Oh, yes, they will. I remember it, and lots of other people remember it. Humberside, Surrey, Sussex, West Midlands Police, Cheshire, flaky forces recruiting people and taking them all the way through the process and then getting right to the very end and saying there's not a place for you, or we'll keep you in a holding bay. South Wales police have done this. They've put people in a holding bay as well. This is endemic practice right across the sector, and it's not fair on you. It's not fair on you. If you hear a bit of background noise, by the way, it's splashing it down with rain. And I've got two big windows up there at the very, very top of the house here. I've got two big skylights. So that noise in the background is the rain. So let me know what you think, folks. In a moment, I'm going to talk to you about what to do about this. You know, how to mitigate for this, no matter what force you're applying to, how to mitigate for this. So just let me know if there's any comments, first of all. I'm just going to see if I can find my water. There we are. I'm going to get my glass of water. So as you're watching this, any comments, any thoughts, anything you want to share, anything you want to ask in respect to this. In a moment, I'm going to talk about, actually, it's, you know, there's the comments in this post, so many comments made by people who, Pete Jones, who's actually Dr. Pete Jones, he's a recruitment specialist, especially in things like unconscious bias. He doesn't want to be a police officer. He's been a police officer. He's retired, but he's saying the way some forces treat candidates is shocking. I agree. I commented to say Cheshire have got previous convictions to cancel intakes and stringing people along. Let's see now. Paul is saying that's awful. No company outside the police would get away with that. I'd transfer my score. And you also, there's quite a few people here. Chloe has got the same. Chloe, I know your dreams, Chloe. Oh my goodness, I've worked with Chloe. Chloe, I feel your pain. She's got the same exact email from Cheshire. Safe to say, I don't have a clue what to do now or how to feel. What a broken heart in the post. Oh my goodness, it's so sad. It is so sad. Ali, same, got that email. So many of you got that email. So this is what I do, folks. This is the action I'd take. And if any of you are in the recruitment process and this hasn't happened to you, and you may be thinking, oh, this won't happen to me, start mitigating against this now. So back in the day, at the start of austerity, you could only apply for one force at a time. Now you can apply for as many forces as you want at any point in the process. The only rule is that you can't do, a College of Policing website says you can't do the search assessment centre within 6 months of each other. It means they've not updated it yet. Online assessment centre, you can't do the online assessment centre within, it'll be within 3 months because you can reset it after 3 months. But that's if you failed it. If you've got a pass, then you're in an awesome place. If you haven't got a pass, you can apply for as many forces as you want, as long as you don't do the online assessment centre within 3 months, because that's the period that you can't reset it. So you can't do one with one force 1 week and another force with another week. At that point, you'd have to tell the other force that actually I've got an application pending with. They may come back to you and say you can only apply for one force at a time. If they do that, then quote the College of Policing website, go to the College of Policing, where you'll see that they say you can apply for as many forces as you want. So if you're capable of doing this, so if you're applying for Cheshire, I'd get an application in with Staffordshire, I'd get an application in with Greater Manchester Police, with Merseyside Police, with Derbyshire Police, and I'd even be thinking about North Wales as well. Although you'd have to learn some Welsh. You've got to have a level 2 in Welsh to be able to join the North Wales Police, which I think is awesome because, you know, it's parts of Wales, it's the first language. Anyway, I'm going off at a tangent now. So get applications going with other forces, even if you don't intend to join them. Came across someone the other day who's applying for one force, I'm not going to say which one it is, with no intention whatsoever of joining that force. It's just that they were recruiting and they want to get a pass in the assessment centre so they can then shop around and use that pass to open up doors with other forces, especially their target force who aren't recruiting at the moment but will next year. So they'll be in an ideal position because they can say, look, I'm applying to join you, I've already got a pass. Wonderful. There's no, look, you know, people have said, oh no, but you know, surely I need to show some commitment to the force. Well, yeah, but they need to show commitment back to you as well and stop dicking you about like they do at the moment. This is why you can shop around. And so if you've been told you've passed, start shopping around, because this might happen to you. All the way up to just a week or two before your intake, you could get told the intake is cancelled. And in case any of you are thinking, surely that wouldn't happen, I remember it happening 7-8 years ago. This happened. This happened. This is reality. And we don't know what the future is going to hold. Certainly the economy is going to be short of 1 or 2 pennies. So where's it going to get all the money from? There's going to have to be cut back somewhere. 20,000 new police officers is a very, very tempting for the government. So all they've got to do, so this is 20,000 new officers, was to balance the number of officers from 120,000 to 140,000. 140,000 is what it was back in the day. So 10 years ago it was 140,000 police officers across full-time equivalents across England and Wales. So if there's less officers leaving, all they need to do is to get that balance back up over the next 3 years, over the next 2 years now, get that balance up to 140,000, and then they can say we've got 20,000 new officers. The word new is a play on words because they're not new at all. They're officers that are still in the police. They've just not left as they were expected to do so. So the number of new officers on top of those that they would have recruited anyway, won't be 20,000, it might be 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. Is that making sense? So what else can we do apart from applying for other forces and having a backup plan? Because remember, the person who's got the most options is capable of making the best decisions. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Let me know. I'm not seeing any comments tonight. I'm guessing you might be shell-shocked with this one. I hope not. I hope not. I hope it's making sense. Let me know, even if it's like, oh my God, just let me know. Put something in the comments to let me know that yes, I'm listening to you, Brendan, and this is making sense. So what else can we do to mitigate for this? Well, let's just read the exact wording of the email from Cheshire. So where is it? Oh, I've just scrolled all the way past it. There it is. A limited number of vacancies. So they still had some vacancies. They still had some places. How are you going to guarantee that you get one of these places? Simple. You need to score better than the person next to you. It's competitive. You need to have an outstanding score at the online assessment centre and at your interview. And I know Cheshire have done this in the past. They will take the best of 3. So they'll take your application form, your assessment centre, and your interview scores, and they'll merge them. I don't know how they weighted them, but they can do that. And different forces can do things in different ways. So a force could just take the top scoring individuals from the online assessment centre. Like Avon and Somerset, West Yorkshire Police don't put you through final interview. I think they might do in the future because they're going to have less places. So they need to cut the numbers back. One way of doing that is a final interview. So I suspect it'll be based on scores. So we need to drive towards the highest score possible. A pass is not your target anymore. A pass is not your target. And you might be thinking, well, I just got told to pass the online assessment centre. I didn't get given a score. Forces have been given the scores. They're just choosing not to share them with you. I know this. I do the positive action support for Nottinghamshire Police and Derbyshire Police. And I know that Derbyshire Police recently have been given the scores because they were shared with me. I had a cohort of 24 individuals that I was supporting, and 23 of them passed. And I know that the scores were awesome. They were in the 70s and 80s. 1 or 2 got in the 60s. The pass mark is around 55 at this moment in time. It might be 56, something like that. It's hovering around there, but that's what the pass mark is. And they scored in the 70s and 80s, most of them. So awesome scores. Now they're going to go through. We have had this conversation with Derbyshire. They are going through to the interview phase because they can only interview a certain number of people. So we've got to score the highest mark possible. Is that making sense? Let me just see who's watching now. Everyone's. Oh, hang on a minute. Everyone's gone quiet. So for those of you who've just not watched one of these Facebook Lives first, hey, there's my old friend Simon's watching. Awesome, Simon. How is it in what do they call it? Not Scarborough. They call it Scarborough Vegas or something. Scar Vegas or have I got it wrong? Just anyway, awesome. So there's some it's great people here, but some faces I've not seen before, some names I've not seen before. So some new people. If you are new people and you're thinking, what do I do? I've been told I just need to act naturally and just be myself. No. You need to prepare. Best way of preparing is to join the Police Recruitment group, the Facebook group which Bluelight has, which I created it 4 or 5 years ago with just one person, me. I started it off. It's now got almost 14,000 members. It's an awesome group. We get about 20-30 people joining every day. Join the group, because when you join the group, I'm going to give you access to my Police Recruitment Booster Bundle. I know it sounds cheesy. Let me know. Give me a love or a like if that sounds cheesy. The Police Recruitment Booster Bundle. It might sound cheesy, but there's some awesome stuff in it. You're going to get my masterclasses, 2-hour masterclasses. One is preparing to join the police to get application form ready and fitness ready as well. That's run in conjunction with my mate Jake from Brisbane. The next one is the Online Assessment Centre Masterclass, where I'll show you the 3 things you absolutely must do to ensure that you get through each one of the 3 stages. And then there's the Interview Masterclass, where I'll show you the 3 big mistakes that people make and how to overcome those big mistakes, how to avoid them, how to mitigate against them, and how to ensure you're successful. So 3 masterclasses. At the end of the Online Assessment Masterclass and the Interview Masterclass, there's an awesome offer to work with me, to work personally with me to ensure that you pass. a range of services that I offer you where for some of them, most of them, I actually guarantee that you're going to pass. I guarantee it. If you do the work and you don't pass, I will give you a full refund. That is a guarantee. What do you think? That is a guarantee, folks. Anyway, to access all of that, your starting point is the Facebook group. That is your starting point, the Facebook group. And I'll give you that booster, that bundle. You can binge watch 6 hours worth. You can get access to my YouTube channel, access to all my favorite podcasts. You're going to get access to all my podcasts. You're going to get the history of the police in England by Captain W.L. Melville Lee as an ebook. You're going to get my practice question banks for the online assessment centre and for the interview. Awesome package. What do you think, folks? Is that not awesome? Is that not an awesome package? All right, so let me know what you think, folks. Who else is here? Let's see if there's any questions. Normally there's loads of questions. I think I've just like knocked you all into sort of, oh my God world. Where's recruitment going at the moment? Have I? Let me know. Let me know, folks. I hope it's not that bad. I really do. All right, so listen, I'm going to shoot off now. Some of you have just joined me. Joanna, Dom, Amy, Dylan. No one's asking any questions. Where are the questions? Someone ask me a question. Someone at least let me know that you can hear me. Normally it's so chatty, it's like chat, but it's all gone quiet. I think I've stunned you all, haven't I? You're all stunned into... all right, okay, well listen, if there's no other questions, I shall finish off this Facebook Live. If you have got any questions, just put something in the comments, because I'll check the comments later. Matt, who's just joined us, Amy, who's just joined us, really sorry, but when I press finish, it will actually record everything, so you'll get a recording of this. All right, awesome, folks. I shall catch up with you very soon. Thank you for watching, and I shall catch you in the Facebook group very, very soon. Bye-bye for now.